to the job duties. As I said that job duties are what the organization pays for the employees to do. So, why some companies use performance appraisal for administering wage and salary? Yes, please.
Some companies use performance appraisal as a basis for administrating wage and salaries because they believe that there is a direct relationship between an employee's performance and their pay. This is based on the assumption that employees who perform better should be rewarded with higher pay, while those who perform poorly should receive a lower pay.
I'm additional from the demand performance appraisal can help company make decisions including bonus, raise, promotion, and other rewards. When job performance is tracked and measured, deserving employees can be recognized with rewards like higher pay, bonus, or other benefits. And then performance appraisal can also help employees understand their strengths and weaknesses, correct behaviors, and reach their full potential. However, some labor experts believe that the use of performance appraisal has led to lower use of merit and performance-based compensation.
Okay, thank you.
In your opinion, why some companies use performance appraisal for administering wages and salaries? Using performance appraisal to administer wages and salaries can also help ensure that employees are being fairly compensated based on their job duties, responsibilities, and performance. It provides a transparent way to communicate to employees how their pay is determined and help to minimize perception of favoritism or discrimination in the workplace. The reason why that's because performance appraisals can be a useful tool for companies to manage and reward employees' performance. By linking them to wage and salaries, companies can create a more objective and transparent system for evaluating employees' contribution to the organization.
Đây này, where's Lenny? Oh.
The question is why some companies use performance appraisal used for administering wage and salaries. When designed well, performance appraisal can highlight and address many work-related issues. And by communicating a positive roadmap to employees, poor performance can often be successfully improved, regardless of whether the feedback is positive or negative. Employees benefit because the information helps them determine how to improve their job performance. In addition, appraisals can provide justification for many personal actions, such as promotions, pay rises, or terminations. It is therefore important for managers to be honest and objective in their appraisals of performance and to ensure that employees understand that the process is intended to help them. Managers should also praise employees when they do well at work and take into consideration their explanation for why their performance is not where it should be.
Yeah, do you want to answer? Yeah.
I think self-appraisal is good for the organization to use because when we were like filling our self-appraisal, we were in my experience, I did the self-appraisal with my manager or my supervisor when they also like pointing out what is my kelebihan, strength and my weakness, which that can make us as the employees to improve ourselves to be a better person, but it also give the idea to the companies, to the organization about like what is our strength and what is our weakness, which will become more important for them in the future to use. Like for example, someday if we're still working and then they need to look for another supervisor, they can just like
Jam jam 9 sir.
they know us better from the appraisal and they can consider it from the appraisal, or they can also help us to work our weakness to be better. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So companies use performance appraisal for administering wages and salaries because they want to reward their employees for their contribution and provide incentives for them to improve their performance. By linking pay to performance, companies can motivate their employees to work harder, improve their skills, and achieve better results. However, it is important to note that using performance appraisal for administering wages and salaries can be challenging as the manager. So, can someone give me one example of the challenge? Yes.
Okay, one common challenge that manager face when conducting performance appraisal is the lack of objectivity in appraisal process. Personal bias, poor assessment, and hollow and harness effect, and lack of competence are some of the factors that can contribute to the lack of objectivity. Comparing an employee to their workers and clashing goals are other challenges that can arise during the appraisal process. Additionally, the construction of the evaluation should reflect the culture of the company or organization, or it can be detrimental. Employees can also report general dissatisfaction with their performance appraisal, which can lead to demoralization or incentivize them to engage in unethical practice. To overcome this challenge, managers should give feedback throughout the year and take steps to make their reviews more objective.
Okay, thank you. One more person.
One common challenge that managers face when conducting the performance is bias. Performance appraisal can be influenced by a manager's personal biases, such as their own perceptions of the employee's performance or the relationship with the employee. This bias can lead to inaccurate or unfair evaluations, which can have negative consequences for employees' moral and reputation. And to mitigate the risk of bias,
Bang, masuk deh.
strive
Ngantuk.
to be as objective and fair
Sakit.
in their evaluation.
Tinggal di mana? Itu baru. Berkarung lah. Main aja. Bakar belum apa. Kalau apa main. Main. Sore nanti main.
So, it can be challenging for the manager to manage the employee's expectation. Linking pay to performance can create expectation among employees, and if expectations are not met, it can lead to demotivation and decline in performance. Companies need to be clear about the criteria used for determining pay increase and bonus to avoid misunderstanding and unrealistic expectation. So we all know that supervisor is one of the most qualified person to evaluate an employee's performance realistically and fairly. Give me one reason why.
So, logically speaking, a supervisor is the one who observe their employees on a daily basis. So, it is hence they are the most qualified person to evaluate employees' performance because they monitoring their employees. They know what their performance like. They know what they attitudes like. So yeah, I think that's why they are the most qualified.
One reason why a supervisor is the person most qualified to evaluate an employee's performance realistically and fairly is because they have direct and ongoing interaction with the employee, which provides them with valuable insight into the employee's day-to-day performance, work habits, strengths, and weakness. As a result, they are in a better position to provide constructive feedback and make accurate assessment of the employee overall performance. Additionally, supervisors are typically responsible for setting performance standards, monitoring progress, and providing guidance and support to employees. Thank you.
Oke.
One more person.
Santai aja.
So the reason why supervisor is the person most qualified to
Belum
evaluate
kayak.
employees'
Demam.
performance realistically and fairly is because supervisor is the person who goes directly to the field where their employees working. While HR, they are just focusing about recruiting, about assessing about salary and wages, while supervisor is the key where they can see directly how the performance of the employee for every division.
Okay, thank you. So the supervisor is typically the person who is most familiar with the employee's job duties, responsibilities, and performance expectation. They work closely with the employee on a day-to-day basis and have direct knowledge of their work habits, skills, and productivity. The supervisor is usually responsible for setting performance goals and providing feedback and coaching to the employees throughout the year. So, what do you think of self-appraisal? Is it good or bad? Please raise it.
Self-appraisal is not relevant now if it is not taken into consideration by SOPs in performance management. Although self-appraisal has opportunities for individual self-development of workers, there must be a formal appraisal that regulates company procedures. Company will be disadvantaged as well as enforcing self-appraisals as a whole. Self-appraisal risks creating a tolerant attitude that lowers overall individual discipline.
Okay, thank you. One last person.
Okay, my name is Valentino. The answer is self-appraisal can be beneficial if implemented correctly. One advantage of self-appraisal is that it allows employees to take ownership of their performance and development. Self-appraisal can provide valuable insight into an employee's perspective on their own performance, which can be useful in identifying areas of strength and weakness that may not be apparent to their supervisor. However, there are potential drawbacks to using self-appraisal as the sole method of performance evaluation. For example, some employees may overstate their accomplishment or minimize their weakness, which can result in an inaccurate evaluation.
Oh, okay, thank you. I agree with both of you. However, self-appraisal has its limitations and potential drawbacks. For example, some employees may overrate their performance or lack of self-awareness to accurately evaluate their own strengths and weaknesses. Additionally, employees may be hesitant to provide critical feedback on their own performance for fear of repercussions. For the next material will be delivered by my companion here, Media Sosial.